Hey guys, something that I realized lately is the fact that you know how they say that like if you're a good person, whatever, like if you're nice to people, people can sometimes treat you badly, sometimes people can treat you well, whatever. And it's not necessarily, you know what I mean? Like everybody's different, like whether you treat people right or not, people can treat you right or not. And then there's people who you're like, wait, everybody treats this person right and this person is like so mean. You know what I mean? Like why do people treat this person right? And but that's not always the case. Like usually what happens, and sometimes this is unbelievable to believe because like I said, I've seen so many people who treat other people badly and they get treated so well, but maybe those are rare cases because I've noticed and I've been like, I thought about this lately and I realized that there's been many times in my life where I have been treated well by people who don't really treat other people well. And so these people, because they don't treat others well, they, people end up getting tired of them or whatever. And people know how these people are. You know what I mean? Like people know these people. And, if you treat everybody badly and people are just tired of you or whatever, maybe they're not going to be like mean to you, but they're not going to be nice because they already know you. And you're going to end up alone. Like that's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like there's people who don't end up alone really. Like maybe it's because other people are interested in them, maybe because they're really good looking or because they're successful or because they have a lot of money or whatever. But a lot of the times people end up alone. Like I remember when I was in primary school, I like this was the earliest memory that I have. Like I had this friend who was really toxic and I talked about her in other videos. And the moment I started like saying no and the moment I started cutting her off, like when I cut her off finally as a friend and I was not hanging out with her anymore, she started being nicer to me. You know what I mean? Like she started like doing me favors, wanting to do me favors, or like just being nice or like complimenting me and stuff like that because she wanted me back. You know what I mean? Like she wanted to gain control of me again. You know what I mean? Like maybe this will also happen in toxic relationships. I've never had a boyfriend, but the thing is, if you treat somebody badly and you want them back because you want to control them again, how do you control them? You have to attract them. And the way to attract them is by convincing them, quote unquote, convincing them that you're going to treat them right. And hopefully they're going to come back to you. But, if that person is sensible, they won't. If I'm sensible, I won't. If you're sensible, you won't. So recently, I'm in this new class, right? And everybody's like new. I didn't know any of these people before going to this class, and the master's degree, and there's this person who I was like, I don't know if he doesn't like me, or maybe he's just grumpy. Like he would say like grumpy things, you know what I mean? Like he would, you know what I mean? Like he was a bit grumpy, right? And I talked about this with two of my friends, with one of my friends and her friend who were classmates of mine. I was like, I don't know if this person like didn't like me or maybe he was a bit grumpy or bitter, I don't know. And they were like, yeah, he's a bit, like, you know, selfish and you know what I mean? Like he thinks he's too cool, whatever. And I was like, oh, he's that kind of person. You know what I mean? Like he thinks that he's the shit and he's not. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, I know what's going on. But then I was like, I wonder like why, like for instance, if this person seems to be so self-centered and they think they're so cool and whatever, why was he nice to me? Like since the moment, you know what I mean? Like he did some, like he made some grumpy comments, but apart from that, he was like nice to me. You know what I mean? Like he offered a few things to me. You know what I mean? Like he offered to pass me like some class notes or whatever because there was a class that I was finding hard because you know what I mean? They were finding it. He and other people were finding it easier because they had done this other subject, and he offered to give me the lecture notes, and I was like, that's really nice of him, and he offered it to me twice, if not more times. And then, do you know what I mean? Like the moment I asked him, like for his number to like pass me the notes and whatever. Like he had already brought them to school. Like he showed them to me, and I was like, if he thinks he's the shit and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like if he's so entitled and stuff like that, like if he thinks he's too good for everybody, why was he so nice? You know what I mean? Why did he take the time to like bring the lecture notes or whatever, even if I hadn't asked him yet? Like why did that happen? And then I came to the conclusion that maybe this person was trying to be nice to me, but not necessarily to me, but maybe to new people, because almost everybody in that class already knows who he is, and they already know him, and they already know that he is, you know, that he's too entitled and all that stuff. So maybe he wants to, to look good with new people, and so maybe that's why he was trying to be nice, because maybe he realized that, you know, the people that know him, they don't like him because of the way that he is. So if he, you know, if he wins the heart of new people, you know what I mean? Like if he, you know what I mean? Like if he looks good, or if he is like nice to the new people are gonna like him, if that makes sense. So I think that kind of means that people, through their experience, like if you're not nice to people, you end up getting that non-niceness back, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean, like if your energy is like bad, like you're gonna receive that energy. And maybe he realized, and he was like, you know what, if I want new people to like me, like these people that don't know me, if I want them to like me, I'm gonna have to be nice. That's it, I'm gonna have to be nice, because otherwise there's no way, you know what I mean. I don't want these people to dislike me as well, so I'm gonna have to be nice. And that's the conclusion that I came up with. I mean, there's so many people who are not nice to anybody, you know what I mean. Like I had this teacher in the first year of college. He was not nice to anybody. Like he was not nice to one single person. Like he would always like respond in a mean way. He was very bitter or whatever. Like there are people that don't learn, and I believe that that man was not nice to anybody because he how do I say this? Because maybe he has like some personal problems or some problems with himself or whatever. Maybe the things that he doesn't like about his life, maybe he victimizes himself and he tries to like spread his like frustration onto other people, you know what I mean, like he wants to project it. And maybe that's why he was not awful to everybody, because he was just hurt. Let's say he felt hurt, he was, you know what I mean, like he was traumatized, if that makes sense. But then I saw, and I talked to this friend of mine, and she said that he was really nice to her, you know what I mean, and he offered to mentor her for the entire degree. And I was like, what? You know what I mean? Like he was nice to her. He was still like bitter, and he would still say shit. You know what I mean? Like he was still like mean and whatever. But he was sometimes nice to her. You know what I mean? And he offered to mentor her. Maybe he saw. I mean, she genuinely liked him. She ended up not liking him because she had too much of him. But well, she had enough of him. That's the thing. Um, but I was like, why was he nice to her? You know what I mean? Like, why did he offer that if he hates people so much? He, maybe this guy realized, okay, every student hates me because I'm a piece of shit, right? And I'm a son of a bitch, right? But this girly, even though I am like this, she still seems to like me. There must be something about me that she likes. You know what I mean? And he maybe wanted to keep that energy in his life. You know what I mean? Like this is one of the few people that can actually stand me, and I don't want to say goodbye to this person. You know what I mean? She's gonna stop being my student. I don't know when I'm gonna see her again. You know what I mean? I want to keep her in my life because she's one of the few people that actually tolerate me. You know what I mean? Have you guys watched the movie American Psycho with Christian Bale? Like it's one of my favorite movies. I love it. I think it's so cool. And I watch a lot of like character analysis and like, you know, context like analysis and stuff like that. And what I realized is that in his mind, well, spoiler alert, in his mind, he killed everybody, or he wanted to kill everybody except for the gay guy who had a crush on. I don't remember what his name was, but like uh, he was engaged with the girl he was having an affair with. You know what I mean? And he was also nice to his assistant. And I was like, those were the two only people he didn't kill allegedly. I was like, why? You know what I mean? Like he almost killed the other guy, but he didn't kill him. He almost killed the assistant, but he didn't kill her. Like, why did that happen? And then I realized, and I also saw it online, I'm not gonna lie, those were the only people who actually genuinely admired him. You know what I mean? Like, he was nobody. Like, there were people who confused him with other people. There were people who called him the wrong name. There were people who thought he was an idiot and whack and just boring and whatever. And, um, and those were the only two people who genuinely liked him and admired him and just, yeah, appreciated him for who he was. That's what he wanted. He wanted to fit in. He wanted to be admired. He wanted to be appreciated. He wanted to be loved just like everybody else. And those were the two only people who he could get that from. So he wasn't going to get rid of them, you know? So I think at the end of the day, even if you're really mean, even if you hate people, whatever, like even this teacher of mine, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, this classmate of mine, you know what I mean, like even though you probably your tendency is to be mean to people, like you realize at some point that if you're mean to people, you're gonna get that energy back. And if you're mean to people, people are not gonna be nice to you. You know what I mean? Like, don't count on me for anything. You know what I mean? and they probably realize like, okay, if I'm nice to people, people are gonna like me. You know what I mean? Like maybe I am the way that I am, but if I'm nice to you, you're gonna like me. Like you have to. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of what happens, right? And so I think that this is the natural tendency. I think like people at some point realize that if the way that I treat people, if it's bad, people are gonna respond. In general, they're gonna respond in that way. Or at least if they don't respond in a bad way, like let's say I don't I don't think I'm mean to people, like even to the people that have been mean to me or people that did things to me. Like I don't give that energy back. You know what I mean? Like I don't become mean to people, right? But I do kind of separate myself from them. Like I kind of like cut them off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if you have hurt me, like I'm not gonna get in an argument. I'm not gonna return you the what you did to me. Like I'm not gonna do the same thing to you or anything, but I'm definitely gonna cut you off. I definitely am not gonna, I'm not gonna want to hang out with you. I'm not going to want to talk to you. I'm not going to, whatever. Like, I'm just going to cut you off. And if we ever see each other, I'm just going to be less smiling and less whatever. I'm just going to be more serious, less talkative. You know what I mean? I'm not going to want to interact too much with you. And I think that these people realize is like, okay, maybe the way that I am, people don't like so much. Maybe because I'm not that nice. So maybe if I'm nicer, people are going to like me. You know what I mean? I don't want everybody to hate me. So I have to be nice. So I'm not saying this happens to all people, but I think that some people do realize that they have to be nice. I'm not saying that these people are going to be, how do you call it? Like revindicated. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that these people are going to be like nice to people. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that teacher of mine is going to be nice to people. I don't think that classmate of mine is going to stop being, so entitled, whatever. I don't think that friends that I've had are going to stop being the way that they were, or narcissistic and stuff like that. But they know that if you're not nice to people, you're gonna get that energy back, and it doesn't feel nice. That's why they resort to being nice to people, because they know that that's what works at the end of the day. So yeah, this is kind of a video. I don't know what this was, but I think this is, I don't know, I hope that this convinces you or convinces people that kindness exists, and sometimes kindness wins. I mean, obviously, maybe I'm saying too much, but maybe in the business world, like you have to, you know what I mean, look for ways to make money, to remain competitive, to remain innovative and stuff like that. And some of the practices that people do in business, or that businesses do, whatever, they're not the most ethical, but they are the best decisions for their business or whatever. Like this happens all the time, you know what I mean? Like people look for their best interest, and that's natural. But the thing is, sometimes and this has nothing to do with business, but like at a human level, if you're not nice to people, you know what I mean? Like the energy that you give to people, you're going to receive it. You know what I mean? Like if you're nice to people, maybe people are going to be nice to you for the most part. And if you're not nice to people, you're not going to receive any love, because people are not going to, you don't, people don't, you don't generate this feeling in people. You know what I mean? Like people don't develop that feeling for you. You know what I mean? Like people are not going to like you if you're not likable. That's it. Like it's basic math. You know what I mean? And so basic math. Okay. So yeah, I think that was all that I wanted to say. So if somebody who's mean starts being nice to you, it's because of that. If somebody who's mean to everybody is nice to you, you either have a lot of money and they want to get with you, or you either are like really cool and they want to be your friend, or most likely if you're a girl and he's a guy, maybe he wants to smash. And or I don't know. Or maybe they just want to be liked because nobody likes them. So yeah, that was it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Sorry that I didn't post yesterday. I just didn't know what to talk about. I didn't get like an idea that I wanted to talk about. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.